There comes a time in almost everyone's life when they sit in silence and question themselves. They wonder why they are not where they thought they would be. They look around and see people advancing in careers, buying houses, living their dreams, while they remain in the same place they were 5 years ago. It feels unfair, and the natural instinct is to blame circumstances, the economy, the people around them, or even fate itself. Yet the truth about why you are not progressing in life is rarely about the outside world. It is about the battles inside you, the mindset that governs your actions, and the hidden habits that quietly sabotage your future. Progress doesn't happen overnight. It is not a single decision, but rather the result of thousands of daily choices. Every morning when you wake up, the way you think, the way you speak to yourself, and the way you act either pushes you forward or keeps you chained to the same spot. Many people live in cycles where they want change, but resist the discomfort that change requires. They dream of a better life, but when opportunity knocks, they hesitate. Fear whispers in their ear that it is safer to stay where they are. Slowly, days turn into months, and months turn into years, and life feels stagnant. One of the biggest reasons people do not progress is because they underestimate themselves. They believe their potential is limited, that greatness is meant for others, but not for them. They convince themselves that they are too old, too young, too late, too unlucky. These beliefs become chains, and they hold you back more strongly than any outside obstacle ever could. If you believe you are not capable, you won't even try. And when you don't try, you confirm your own doubts. It becomes a cycle of failure that feeds itself. But progress begins when you dare to break that cycle. You must start by realizing that you are not defined by your past failures. You are not trapped by the mistakes you made, nor by the opinions of people who once told you that you would never succeed. Every single person has the ability to change their story, but very few are willing to pay the price. That price is not money. It is discipline, patience, consistency, and the courage to face discomfort every single day. Another hidden reason people stay stuck is because they choose comfort over growth. Comfort feels safe, is familiar. You know what to expect when you repeat the same routine every day. But progress only happens when you step outside of comfort and face the unknown. Think about every meaningful achievement in history. It came from someone who was willing to walk into uncertainty, who was willing to risk failure for the chance of something greater. If you're unwilling to be uncomfortable, then you're also unwilling to grow. Perhaps you tell yourself that you are waiting for the right time, the perfect moment when everything will align and you will finally make your move. But that perfect time does not exist. Life will never pause and give you a clean, quiet window of opportunity. There will always be challenges, bills to pay, responsibilities to juggle, doubts to silence. If you keep waiting for the perfect moment, you will wait forever. Progress begins not when life becomes easy, but when you decide to act despite the chaos around you. Self-doubt is another silent killer of progress. How many dreams have died in people's minds before they even began? They wanted to start a business, but convinced themselves they weren't smart enough. They wanted to go back to school, but said they were too old. They wanted to change careers, but believed they were too late. They never took the first step because they were busy writing scripts of failure in their own minds. If you tell yourself you will fail, you won't even try. And if you don't try, you guarantee failure. Progress is not about never feeling fear or doubt. It is about acting in spite of those feelings, proving to yourself that you are stronger than the voices in your head. Another reason many remain stuck is because they surround themselves with people who hold them back. You may not even notice it, but the conversations you have daily shape your mindset. If everyone around you complains, doubts, and settles for mediocrity, then slowly you will absorb their energy. Your dreams will feel too big. Your ambitions will feel unrealistic. But when you surround yourself with people who challenge you, who push you to be better, who inspire you to think bigger, then progress becomes natural. Humans are social creatures. We rise and fall to the level of the people we spend the most time with. Discipline is also at the heart of progress. Many people confuse motivation with discipline. Motivation is a feeling, it comes and goes. Discipline is a decision. It is what you do on the days when you don't feel like trying. Progress is built on small, consistent actions taken daily, not on bursts of excitement that fade after a week. If you want to change your life, you must stop relying on motivation and start building discipline. That means keeping promises to yourself even when no one is watching, pushing forward even when it feels boring, and refusing to quit even when progress is invisible. The truth is, progress is not glamorous. Social media shows us highlight reels of success, people buying cars, traveling the world, achieving big milestones. But behind those highlights are years of quiet sacrifice, nights of self-doubt, mornings of relentless work. If you only focus on the glamour of success, you'll get discouraged when your journey feels slow and ordinary. But if you understand that progress is built in silence, through countless unseen efforts, then you will develop the patience to keep going. And perhaps the greatest reason people fail to progress is because they stop believing change is possible. They convince themselves that this is all life has to offer. They give up, settle for less, and accept mediocrity as normal. But deep down, they still feel the ache of what could have been. They still feel the weight of dreams buried alive. The tragedy is not in failing. The tragedy is in giving up before you give yourself a chance to succeed. Your life does not have to remain stuck. You're not a tree planted in the ground, unable to move. You're a human being with the power to think, to act, to choose. Every day you are given 24 hours, the same as the most successful people in the world. The difference lies not in luck, but in how you use those hours. Will you waste them repeating the same habits? Or will you invest them in becoming the person you were meant to be? If you want progress, it begins today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when the stars align. Today, the moment you decide to stop making excuses, to stop waiting for permission, and to start building the future you desire. It may be slow at first. You may stumble. You may doubt yourself. But if you stay consistent, if you refuse to quit, then step by step you will see progress unfold. Your future is waiting for you, but it won't come knocking on your door. You must go out and claim it. And the only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be is the story you keep telling yourself. Change the story, and you change your life. Progress is not only about knowing why you are stuck, but also about learning how to rise above it. Too many people spend their lives analyzing their failures, blaming their environment, and talking about their problems, but very few actually take the steps that lead to transformation. If you truly want to change your life, you have to start with your mindset. Everything begins in your mind. The way you think determines the way you act, and the way you act creates the life you live. If your thoughts are poisoned with negativity, with excuses, with fear, then your actions will reflect those thoughts. You will procrastinate, you will hesitate, you will sabotage yourself. But if your mind is filled with courage, faith, and determination, then your actions will align with that power. The world is not simply shaped by external events. It is shaped by the lens through which you choose to view it. This is why two people can face the same challenge. One sees it as the end of the road, the other sees it as a chance to grow stronger. The difference is mindset. So how do you reset your mind for progress? You begin by paying attention to the stories you tell yourself every day. What do you say when you look in the mirror? Do you call yourself a failure? Someone who can never change? Someone who is doomed to live in the same cycle forever? Or do you remind yourself that no matter how many times you've fallen, you still have the power to rise? The words you speak to yourself are not harmless. They shape your identity. If you want progress, you must start affirming a new identity. You must say, I am capable, I am strong, I am worthy of more, and I will not stop until I build the life I deserve. But mindset alone is not enough. Progress demands discipline. Imagine a farmer who dreams of a harvest, but never plants seeds, never waters the soil, never tends the field. No matter how much he visualizes, he will never see results. In the same way, you cannot simply dream of progress without action. Discipline is the daily watering of your goals, the quiet commitment to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. Think of discipline as the bridge between your dreams and your reality. You may not always feel motivated, but if you are disciplined, you will keep showing up. Every workout you complete, every book you read, every dollar you save, every hour you dedicate to your craft. It may seem small in the moment, but over time it builds momentum. Progress is invisible at first, but consistency makes it undeniable. Another key to progress is embracing failure as part of the journey. Many people stop moving forward the moment they stumble. They take failure as a sign that they are not good enough, when in truth failure is the very teacher that shapes success. Every person you admire has failed countless times. The difference is they refuse to let failure define them. Instead, they used it as fuel. They asked themselves, what can I learn from this? How can I grow stronger from this? Failure is not the opposite of progress. It is the foundation of progress. If you want to move forward in life, you must also let go of the need for instant results. We live in a world of fast gratification, where everything is available at the click of a button. But personal growth does not work that way. Progress is slow, steady, and often invisible in the beginning. Just like a tree takes years to grow roots before it stands tall, your journey will take time. The problem is that most people quit before their roots are strong enough to sustain success. They give up just before the breakthrough arrives. If you can be patient, if you can trust the process, you will discover that persistence always pays off. Another hidden trap that blocks progress is comparison. When you constantly measure your life against others, you will always feel behind. Social media makes this worse because it shows you everyone's highlights while hiding their struggles. You see their vacations, their new jobs, their smiling faces, and you feel like you're failing. But remember, progress is not about being ahead of others. It is about being ahead of who you were yesterday. The only person you should compare yourself to is the version of you from the past. If you're growing, if you are learning, if you're pushing yourself even one step further than before, then you are progressing. Your environment also plays a critical role. If you live in a space of constant negativity, clutter, or distraction, your progress will be slowed. But if you create an environment that fuels focus, growth becomes natural. That may mean organizing your home, setting boundaries with toxic people, or limiting the time you waste on meaningless distractions. Every change you make in your environment is like removing weights from your shoulders. Suddenly you find it easier to move forward because nothing is holding you down. Another truth you must face is that progress requires sacrifice. You cannot hold onto your old habits and expect a new life. If you want growth, you will have to let go of comfort. That may mean sacrificing endless hours of entertainment to study or work on your dream. It may mean cutting ties with people who don't support your vision. It may mean waking up earlier, working harder, or investing energy when you feel exhausted. Sacrifice is not punishment. It is the price of freedom. And those who are willing to pay it are the ones who rise above the rest. At the heart of progress lies courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act despite fear. Every step into the unknown is terrifying, but it is also where transformation happens. If you only do what feels safe, you will stay where you are. But the moment you take a leap of faith, you expand your capacity. You discover strengths you never knew you had. You prove to yourself that fear is nothing compared to the power of determination. Progress also thrives on gratitude. You may wonder, what does gratitude have to do with success? Gratitude shifts your focus. Instead of complaining about what you lack, you begin to see what you already have. That energy fuels positivity, and positivity fuels persistence. When you are grateful, you stop living as a victim of your circumstances. You start living as a creator of your future. Gratitude does not mean settling for less. It means building from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. So, why have you not progressed yet? Because somewhere inside, you've allowed fear, doubt, comfort, or excuses to hold the pen that writes your story. But today, you can take that pen back. You can decide that your past does not dictate your future. You can choose courage over fear, discipline over laziness, persistence over quitting. The road ahead will not be easy, but it will be worth it. One day, when you look back, you will realize that every small step you took, every sacrifice you made, Every moment you refused to quit, all of it built the life you once dreamed of. And the greatest regret you can ever carry is knowing you had the chance to change but chose to stay the same. Your future is calling. The question is, will you answer?